But right now, King James is doing something at the age of 38 years old that 38-year-olds shouldn't be able to do. Just scored 40. I see Blake shaking his head, but he just put up 47 against the Hawks. And when we go look at his points per game average, really it's all around numbers. They're really just no different than what we've seen him put up before. And that's the entire thing with LeBron is, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. His longevity alone, whenever we talk about those GOAT arguments or those GOAT debates or whatever the case may be, LeBron's longevity within itself is a case for him being the GOAT. We can talk about the finals. We can talk about every situation if he wasn't clutch. The point that he's playing superstar peak level basketball 20 years in. And if you watch him play visible, I mean, he's not the same guy, but visibly, there's just nothing where I'm like, this dude isn't the same guy anymore, right? And even especially when you go look at the numbers, 27 or 29 points a game, so almost 30 a game, 51% shooting, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists a game, and he's still doing things to the point where he's carrying this Lakers team. Yeah. It's unreal for a 38-year-old to be doing in year 20. So,
it's easy really. Oh, it's easy. It's easy when it's 6'9". I'm gonna use Michael Jordan's word, or the word they use to describe it. This is rarefied air, as they say, for a player to be 38 and averaging, like you said, 29 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists, especially on efficient shooting. That's crazy. And he's still, like, he had a couple plays against the Hawks where he was still kind of hanging in the air like a 28-year-old LeBron. I don't know if you like the baseline jumper. Yeah, my only critique of LeBron's game is I feel like he needs to shoot more fadeaway, like mid-range jumper, because I feel like he's actually good at them. He just doesn't shoot them a lot. I feel like he's shooting too many threes, but that's beside the point. But it's crazy to see that he's going to break Kareem's scoring record within the next probably month, maybe a few weeks. I don't know. It depends how he's scoring. But for a player to do that, and he's played less seasons than Kareem, is actually crazy too. So I just want to put that out there. But I think we should all, take advantage of where we're seeing from him, because this is not common. No. A lot of people don't do this at this age. Most of the time when a player is 38 and he's been in the league for almost 20 years, we can kind of notice the drop-off. Yet, like you said, we see the drop-off. He's not the same player he was 10 years ago, but it's not a drastic drop-off. He's still like a potentially top 5, top 6 type of player. Yes. I don't know if we ever see a type of talent like that ever again, to where he stays at least in that realm of top 5, top 6 player throughout his whole 20-year career. I don't know if we ever see that. Yeah, like you said, he's not the exact same guy that he was probably in Miami or 2018 and in Cleveland, but he's still an effective player, and he's still, effective is an understatement. 29 points a game for anybody, and I don't think there's anybody out there like, this isn't the same Bron or whatever, but 29 points a game with 8 assists or whatever it is and 8 rebounds. These are your standard LeBron numbers. There was never a numerical fall off for LeBron. The point that we know, LeBron, I don't want to make everything about numbers, but the point that we know we're going to get this type of output from LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you would have told me that in Miami, like, let's go when he was in Miami, when he was however years old, when he was with the Heat, and you would have said by the time he gets to 2022, this is going to be his stat line still, I would have called you crazy. No funny shit. It's crazy to think about. And then you even look at what he's doing with LA. Yes, it's this team sucks, but he's putting up the 29 because it's like he's still carrying this team. This is a 38-year-old trying to get as much out of his team as possible, and he's carrying. So it's sad for the Lakers to be where they're at, but it speaks to how great of a player he is. At 38 years old, your team still relies on you heavily, and you're still performing at a very high level when you're answering those calls. It's dope from an individual standpoint, not from a team standpoint, but from an individual standpoint. I don't think we have seen anything like this. When Jordan was 38, and I don't want to just immediately do this, I'm gonna let Blake go here. I don't want to do this Jordan LeBron thing, but when Jordan was 38, he had something to fall back on, right? You didn't have to ask a 38-year-old guy, hey, get the ball and go carry this team or do whatever the case. LeBron is carrying this team. He's keeping them afloat possession by possession. Is unreal. That's really what you can say. I'm gonna let Blake go because I know he wants to. That's really what you can say if you're comparing LeBron's career to Michael Jordan's career. A lot of the things that LeBron has been asked to do, Michael Jordan was never asked to do. I'm gonna just put that out there. But Blake, you can go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna sound like a hater today, but I am gonna give Bron his flowers. I know Carl was talking about appreciating what he's doing while he's still playing. And I do agree with that because in all honesty, bro, what he's doing right now, especially at 38 years old and with this team being as terrible as it is, it's very impressive. It's very impressive. But 38-year-old dude be all averaging almost 30 points. And honestly, I know last season it kind of we talked about how he kind of looked like he was slowing down a little bit. Some parts of his game were maybe not there, but this year it's just like it's completely different. I don't know if it's just it's really crazy how he can still even you know at almost 40 he can elevate his game just to really fill out those holes that are in the Lakers roster. Now I will say this: if you had put Jordan on this Lakers team, I'd have to say that he'd be doing the same thing. We can bring up that Wizards. That was
I got you.
I don't know.
I got you because I was about to say, so you got to compare when you comparing LeBron and Michael, you got to be different because LeBron's 38 and Michael Jordan's 30 is two different things because LeBron played more years in the league at that age. So if you're saying if you put Michael Jordan's in his 18th season, which he never played, right? I don't think he played 15 years.
No, he 15, played 16. I mean, altogether, I think it was like 16, 17.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, even if you put Michael Jordan on his team in his 18th season, we saw how he wasn't terrible with the Wizards, but we saw how he clearly wasn't himself or even anything close to it. So I don't think he wouldn't be putting up these numbers. That's why it's impressive.
Yeah, I would say I don't think Jordan's putting up these numbers, you know. But at the same time, also Jordan doesn't make this Lakers team any better than what they are. There's no way, no matter what way you cut it, this Lakers team sucks. Like they're trying to this team sucks. Like I'm trying to not try to be funny or whatever. This team sucks. I think this team. I think the makeup of this team is probably worse than that Lonzo team when he came in 2019.
Oh yeah.
Darwin, the lineups he puts out there on the court are some of the worst. Who in their right mind puts Dennis Schroeder on the court with Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook and LeBron? He's the only coach in the NBA who puts 4 non-shooters on the floor or 9 catch-and-shoot guys on the floor. But that's besides the point. There's nothing. When we were talking about the Jordan LeBron thing, there's nobody who can come in and make this team any better than what they already are. This team sucks. It comes down to it being a bad roster. Sadly, Blake, you did call it. I tried to hype them up at the beginning of the year and say, oh, this is a better roster. No, this Lakers roster is probably the worst one. There's just nothing here outside of Russ, AD, and LeBron. It's bad, you know, but for him to do this, I don't want to glorify because I always hate when we do this thing where like, oh, he's better because he carries his team. I don't want to get into that because that's not an ideal thing for a team sport. You shouldn't have to carry. So I don't think that should be an argument for one guy being better than the other. But the point that we're seeing so much weight being put on the shoulders of a 38-year-old, right? Same how it was in 2018, right? With the Cavs when, you know, they had that weird roster in the second half of the season after the Isaiah Thomas thing or whatever the case may be. The point that he's performing this well and he's still answering that call, right, to do so much on the offensive end, and he's still sustaining himself. It's off the chain, you know, so all credit to LeBron. It's not a great situation. It's not ideal, but it does speak, you know, to his greatness, how great of he is as a player. And on the flip side, he is getting tired of it. I think one of y'all sent me a quote the other day where he was basically like, yo, it was Carl, I think. What did he say? He said something like, "I don't want to be playing basketball to play basketball."
He said, I've tasted what a championship feels like, and at this point in time, I'm not at the age where I'm just not going to be playing for championships anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know, but that's what he said.
That's what he said. I mean, you know what I mean? So he's feeling it right now too. It's like, and it was also that type of statement was coming, you know, like I feel like the last couple of years with him and the Lakers, it was like, well, we're hurt or whatever. This year, you can kind of feel it's like, bro, I'm getting tired of this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's beyond, you know, we'll get better. We'll just give us time. Like right now, I think he's starting to feel like, yo, man, this ain't what this isn't ideal. This isn't where it needs to be at.
Can you blame him?
Not at all.
No.
Because I honestly, bro, I think this is probably the worst team he's had while he's been in LA.
Oh yeah.
Maybe because you just have to look at it. There's just nothing, at least with that first year, right? I know he got hurt, but at least guys were there, right?
That first year, it was just like you took a bunch of dudes and just threw them together.
Yeah,
but they were talented. I think that first year it was better. But this year, dude, this year's team is
yeah, because at least that first year they had a stretch of wins. Like they beat Golden State, I think, at Christmas, or either it was near Christmas, something like that. Then they start losing, but they had a stretch of wins. Yeah. This year, this Laker team doesn't have a stretch of more than 3 wins in a row, I think. So that tells you how sad that is.
Yeah,
it tells you a lot about management too.
It's really all their fault, to be honest with you. It's really them.
And the argument for that too is, for one, I mean, you could say, well, AD's here or whatever. You can't even rely on him to be on the court, right? Like, it's just the fact that you can't rely on your second best player to even be there during the regular season is whack. And then after that, when you don't have him, there's just nothing else here. And you can even see it. He looked like he getting tired of his teammates a bit. I remember him. I think it was in Philly. I think that was a game they almost won, and it was a good game. And they played a couple of really good games this season, but it was a game where he told Lonnie Walker, bro, don't tell me what to do. There was another game a couple nights ago where in Orlando, we snapped at somebody for, not making the right rotation defensively. Like, I know that's a leadership type of thing, but you can feel it right now with Bron that it's just like, yo, this ain't it. And then you just looking at the guys they're putting on the court. These guys aren't bad players, but Carl, you said it before.
What?
They're not bad basketball players.
Some of them, they need.
They would beat our ass in one-on-ones and everything like that. But that's not saying much because I'm not a basketball player. But just relatively speaking, some of them dudes, I'm be honest with you. If it was a half decent roster, they would still be in the G League. They have a lot of G League players on their team. Yes. Austin Reeves, I like that he hustles. He's a G League player to me.
Yep. Wenyen Gabriel is a G League. Thomas Bryant shouldn't even
G League
or G League.
Troy Brown.
He's
G League. Troy Brown. I like Troy Brown, but he's not a rotate. He's not none. The guys they're playing right now. It's not even that they're not playing well. The guys that they're playing aren't even playoff rotation guys.
Proven. They're not proven.
You got Austin Reeves closing out. Nah, bro. I not like Austin Reeves, but you trying to, I mean, it's championship. That's the goal. You got him out here closing out games. That ain't gonna get you the championship. That's gonna get you. That's gonna get you out the playoffs.